And hi, welcome to It Ain't Over, Spring Football Update with your girl, Posh underscore Clevelander of Bougie Sports Production. And I am here with the front face of the Memphis Showboats Yacht Club. Get on board. So you know the Memphis Showboats will be nothing without their dedicated fan base. So we have here today the boatsman, and you can follow him and his fan base at the following: Facebook, the Boatsman, and the official Memphis Showboats Yacht Club. And on X, we also have the Memphis Showboats It's Showtime. So I'm here. I'm Posh underscore Clevelander, and I'm proud to be part of the bougiesports.net group. We're a group of sports loving girls, and we are so proud to have you here today. We want to tell you thanks.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
Oh, great. So, as Browns girls, we bougie girls, we're Browns girls, but we want to just learn so much about the UFL. I live here in St. Louis Battlehawks, but of course, I am being unbiased this season. And and I just want to tell you that Daewoo is the Hakeem Butler of your team. As I was doing my research, I was hollering and yelling like I do over Hakeem Butler. But I'm telling you, Tuesday, I'm going to give you the best. We're recording this for our show Tuesday, because Tuesday will be our all showboats episode. Thank you for coming on today.
Thanks.
But yes, I'm so happy to have you here. But first, tell me, what prep work are you doing for this season? As you know, folks, the UFL season is starting March 28th. But tell me, what prep work is the Yacht Club doing this season? The Yacht Club is the fan base that is supporting the showboats. Tell me, what prep work are you doing?
The biggest thing we're doing right now is, you've got the front office of the showboats that are out doing their promotions. They were just recently at the Mardi Gras parade that was downtown here in Memphis as well. They show up to the Memphis Grizzlies games. They also show up to the University of Memphis basketball games. But outside of that, we try to hit the outlying area, and those areas include Arlington, Lakeland, Germantown, Bartlett, Cordova, Collierville, down in DeSoto County, because we're right on top of Mississippi. So we're boots on the ground with that. Going to locations, say, like here in Arlington, as a matter of fact. Ace Hardware just opened a brand new location up. They're going to have their big grand opening like 2 weeks before the season starts. Well, those 3 days are perfect for the showboats to be out there promoting the league, promoting the team. So we got that set up for them. There's even other places that were interested, like Wingstop, the new location opened up there. So that's what we're doing, is going around the local businesses and everything and trying to, see if we can't get somebody to come out to hand out swag and talk to the customers and draw a little bit more interest outside of your standard football fandom.
Good. That's good. That's supporting your local businesses. Yes, I
Exactly.
did. Yeah, I would. I have on my to-do list to reach out to. I wanted to have some local business shout outs within the area, because I wanted to encourage people to, when they go in town to visit Auntie and them, to maybe visit some restaurants near the stadiums, and help the local community there. So definitely. If you're a local business in Memphis, contact me, DM me, and say, hey, if you're in Memphis, stop by this rib place, let me
Yeah.
know. Yeah, but that's great. That's really great. So that's some good prep work you're doing like there. So how did you first get involved? How did you first become the boatsman?
There's two sides to that story. I mean,
Hmm.
let's go all the way back to the original. And we're
Hmm.
talking about this man, Reggie White. I
Reggie
mean,
White.
you're
Okay.
talking about 1984
Okay.
showboats. I mean, it all starts, and ironically enough, we'll be doing something this season, or I'll say I will be. Like I said, it all starts with Reggie, with the Minister of Defense. So
Hmm.
that started me off back then. I was always a football fan, but we
Hmm.
had just moved from Memphis to Dallas when the USFL came out. And the great thing was, my dad still had a business back here. So when I'd come see my grandmother, he'd take me with him. to check on the business, and he'd pick up one of my childhood friends, and we go to the games here in Memphis at the League Bowl. So that ended in '85, the end of '85. Just misfortunes, bad business moves, and so the USFL went away. When it came back around the second time, the USFL, if as you've already checked it out, they came back in 22, but they didn't have the showboats with that one. And during that time, I was having the health issues like crazy. I ended up having open heart surgery, and it was an aortic valve that was torn. And you get a little bit different of an aspect on life. You start thinking, life's too short. So I wanted to just be a big kid, have some fun. As a matter of fact, I played football, so I never did tailgating. And I got to do tailgating for the first time with the yacht club. And that's a blast. So that was a new experience for me to be on that end of it. And it just, the companionship, the camaraderie, just everybody, it's like a big family. And so that changed everything. And so here comes the boatsman. It's like, I thought, you know what? We didn't have one of those super fans. I didn't see anybody in the stands the first year. Everybody was wearing their showboat stuff. That's it. And so I thought, yeah, I'm gonna be that big kid. I mean, it's just clear with this thing going back and forth.
I love it. I love it.
Thought,
as a Browns girl, I love it. I love your dedication, the tailgating you do. I love it. I love it. I'm so proud of you. Here.
So we support it. And I get people all the time that say, well, woman, what's it cost to be in the yacht club? And I'm like, what's it cost? Get your tickets. Go get your game day tickets. You don't have to even be a season ticket holder. We tell people, if you are a showboats fan, you're in the yacht club. It's just that simple. There's no fees. There's no dues. There's no, renewals. Just come to the games. Cheer on the guys, because that's my big thing that I'm sure we'll address more here in a little bit. But, it's important that this league succeeds. It's not just Memphis that I'm talking about. It's the UFL. It's spring football. It does have a place in this business.
Exactly. That's what I'm all about. Of course, my love is for the Battlehawks. I have to address that. I love the Battlehawks here living in St. Louis. But I want Memphis to succeed. I want every team to succeed. I want you guys I want people in the stands in Memphis, and I'm going to talk about that more later, but I want people, I want the businesses to succeed. I want the gas stations, the rib places. I want the little Airbnbs to succeed. I want it to succeed. I want it to grow. I want it to grow.
When you bring in professional sports, you usually can see a lot of growth. It's been different in Memphis, but the Grizzlies have still been more of a positive than a negative by far. And the showboats can be exactly the same thing, especially with the UFL being what it is. You're going to see guys that are going to be in the UFL that are going to suddenly be in the NFL. And it seems like it's been a couple of kickers that have actually been some celebrities. I mean, you've had the Cowboys picking up one that makes the Pro Bowl, and he's going against some of the legends that are going to be future Hall of Famers. He's going up in competitions against them. Yes. That's incredible, considering that just a few years before that, he wasn't even playing football. His girlfriend told him, you could kick for a football team. And then you've got Bates just recently that was with the Michigan Panthers. He turned around and he's with the Detroit Lions, and that team is having a heck of a resurgence. And so once again, the commentators at those games can't help but mention the former leagues, the spring football leagues. And that's where I lead to that. It plays a major role. There's some guys that were incredible in college, and they just drew the short straw when it came time to go to the pros. They got drafted. Some didn't even get drafted, but they get there and it just something doesn't click. And next thing they find themselves on the outside and they're wondering what happened. Well, that's okay, because with something like the UFL, you get your chance to shine one more time and show them, like our cruise missile, David Davis. He went to the Panthers, and if it hadn't been for an unfortunate tear in his ACL, he'd still be there. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I told him at the end of the season last year, that's why he's in this photograph that I've got with him. He's just like pointing at me because he's like, I like you. I told him, I said, this is your year. Go take it, man. You deserve it. Go get it. And he did.
Uh-huh.
Just it didn't work out. But I told him, and I said, and if anything does happen, you come back here. Don't go somewhere else. We can't have that. You've got to come back to
Exactly.
Memphis and everything. So he's back, and if he's at 100%, he's going to be extremely dangerous.
Exactly. Exactly. People, they, like I said, David Davis is the Hakeem Butler of the showboats. Go to YouTube, and I'm going to be ending. I'm going to tell you already. My Tuesday episode will be ending with some Daewoo highlights. I'm going to talk about my breakout player, some breakout players that I will be looking at. But I am going to end with some Daewoo highlights. And let's go ahead and let's get it out of our system. Let's go ahead and say Daewoo's name because it's so awesome. Daewoo, give me
He's
a
the man.
Daewoo. Give
He
me a
is the
Daewoo.
man. It's great. If you can see him, if that ball gets over the defender, it's only one that's going to be there. It's going to be Daewoo, and he is
Exactly,
gone.
exactly. When he gets in
He's
the open field, it's
gone.
a thing of beauty.
Yeah,
It's a
you
thing of
got to have an
beauty.
O line to give the QB just a little bit of time.
Get a
And
little
once he
bit of
sees him
time.
out there, it doesn't
Thank
matter if he's
you.
15 yards to his left. Just throw it here. He's going to catch up to it. He'll outrun the ball sometime.
Yes, yes. So it's gonna be a torn game when I see the Battle Hawks. I was be like, Daewoo. I was like, oh, I gotta remember who I am. But no, I can cheer for both sides as a commentator now officially. I can cheer for both sides. I can
There
go
you go.
Hakeem. I can go Daewoo. I can go Hakeem. I can go Daewoo. There. So how do you people that are new because I'm going to occasionally say things and whenever I'm in doing it ain't over to help people that are new to the UFL. How do you tell teams that are fans that are new to UFL? We both know as a Browns girl, 2-8, coming over. How do you overcome adversity as a fan base? As a Browns girl, we know how to make our tailgates, so it's not all about what happens on the field. How does your fan base deal with adversity?
Well, the one thing is the league itself, the front office has done most of that for us by going out and getting a new GM, which Jim Manos is absolutely astounding. I couldn't be more thrilled as a Buffalo Bills fan to have him in our front office seeking out good players. I mean, he's been working up a roster all off season that's just looking brighter and brighter. I reserve getting into their histories until they've made the cut. Then I start delving into their backgrounds after that.
Mhm.
But just the names, just right off the bat, just seeing some of the rep they've got, I'm like, he's really working it. And then you bring in a coach like Ken Wisenhunt, which technically they didn't bring him in. He put his name out there and said to Daryl Johnson and them, I want to coach Memphis. And
What?
that's what made us, really thrilled to hear that because we were
That was
hearing names.
awesome.
He's the
Okay,
one that
that
came
is
forward and
real
said, I want to
good.
coach that team.
Uh-huh.
So that was right there. I tell the fans, that's commitment.
That
He
he
making the
was up to
commitment,
the
which is
challenge. Yes.
what I tell fans all the time. If you'll commit to the team, they'll commit back. They'll commit back tenfold, but you got to
Mm-hmm.
be there. This league is so new. People all keep thinking about, the NFL, and I'm like, look, there was a time a millennia ago when pro football was a joke. It was all college football. The day is now where they're both big. So
Mm-hmm.
the UFL is spring football, and it's got its place. Like I said earlier, it is a necessity, not just something to pass the time with.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, it's in its infancy still. Even though you could sit there and go, well, no, you had the USFA. You've had all these leagues go 1 to 2 years, 1 to 2 years. Sometimes not even like the AAF didn't even make a full season. And that had a lot of promise to it. It looked good. But once again, you had people in it that just rushed. You got to pace yourself. It's the long haul. So I tell people the UFL is only going to get better. But here's the thing, it only gets better if you're involved. That's
Exactly.
the thing. You got to get involved in it. Nobody's asking you from the yacht club to go buy season tickets and go all out. That's not necessary right now. At these $10 tickets, get a ticket, come to the game, see for yourself. Those guys on the field are the ones that need you there. And that
Mm-hmm.
more than the team, those guys out there need to hear these people cheering for them. They need to know that they didn't make the wrong decision to keep sticking it out. I mean,
And
if
people
they
don't
could,
understand your before you know it, in the blink of an eye, your kid is an adult.
yep,
And my son is 27, and the
yeah,
best memories he has is us tailgating together to St. Louis Rams games and
imagine.
spending time. And I'm not a millionaire. We didn't have porterhouse steaks at the St. Louis Rams tailgating. We had Schwann's. If you remember Schwann, if you ever
I
had,
do.
you remember Schwann's.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Schwann's. But Schwann's,
Swans with the cordon bleu chicken.
you like the. Oh goodness. But yeah, we had Schwann's Philly steaks on a grill in the tailgating, and it was delicious. It
Yeah.
was delicious. So and it was delicious. And I was a struggling nurse on my own, but it was the greatest memories we had.
Yep.
And
That's what I tell people. You're right. The tailgating is what does it too.
those are those memories that kids remember the rest of their life.
Well,
And that $10 can last a
yes, it,
memory, in a kid's life.
that's the kids right there just talking about that. That's part of the reason that I kept with this is because this was just to be fun. This was just to be for, I
Hmm.
loved it. Like last year, there was one game where my seats were last
Hmm.
season. I happened to be more towards one end. And so it was the end that the visiting team came out from. And I had 4 or 5 of the Michigan Panthers. They were just like, stretching and doing their stuff. And one of them just straight up, he just, they're all pointing at me and stuff. And like, what are you
Uh-huh.
doing there? Look at that
Uh-huh.
guy. And they're literally applauding me and giving me
Uh-huh.
thumbs up. I'm not yelling for them. It's just they're
Uh-huh.
like, look at that guy. That's cool. And that was neat. And I found that out later too at the end of the season
Uh-huh.
when we went to a meet and greet. And I decided to just show some of the guys in the team,
Uh-huh.
by the way, I'm that guy. And I thought the response that I would get from them was, oh, cool. No, instead they freaked out. They're like, no, wait, and they started yelling at guys down the line signing autographs. That's him. And they're all, who? And they go, him. It's the guy in the uniform, because these guys get to take their helmets off during the
Uh-huh.
game and cool off. And a friend of mine turned me into the Mandalorian, where this is the way. So this doesn't come off. So I'm out there. The struggle is real. But
Uh-huh.
it was funny because even Coach Flip that season said that they were talking about me in particular
Uh-huh.
on the airplane ride to Memphis, saying, a lot of the guys were down because at that point they're 1-8.
Yes.
And they're just having a hard time. And he started telling them, look, when he was working, I think as an offensive line coach, he said for the LA Raiders, or the Oakland Raiders. I'm sorry, he was the Oakland
Uh-huh.
Raiders, and
Uh-huh.
he said they were a horrible team. And he said he's sitting there just tearing up the offensive line on the bench, and he's looking up past him, and there's all the Raiders fans. It's
Yes.
just they're all crazy looking. And he said, don't play for the guy over there with the notepad writing about you. Play for them. And he said he told him, play
Mm-hmm.
for that guy. Play for him and the kids you see in the stands. Play for the fans yelling for you. Don't
Mm-hmm.
play for your critics. Don't worry about them.
Yes.
And I thought, oh, that's kind of cool, to hear
Yes.
that, to know that they were talking about me kind of, I was like, wow.
That
So
is
it
cool.
was flattering, and it was nice to know when I hear some of them say, yeah, seeing a fan up in the stands like that gives them,
Mhm.
a little bit more gumption. They're like, all right, yeah, check this guy out. Makes them want to play, so
Exactly.
it's fun. And then,
Exactly.
like I said, the kids, I didn't know that was going to happen. The first game I went, here I am now, I'm dressed up like this, and my wife's sitting at the seat, and I'm gone for almost a whole quarter. And I come back and she goes, you're missing the game. I went, yeah, I know. Next time you got to go get the drinks. I'm taking pictures with parents and their kids everywhere, and everybody's stopping me. And I'm like, you can't just go, no, I got to go. No, you're out there. That's what part of this was. So that's
Yes.
what it's become. So, and it's
Those are those
fun. I mean,
memories.
those kids
You're
want
gonna
to
be
come
part
back
of
and
those
see it again.
memories.
If those
Yep,
kids
you're
want to
part
come
of their
back and see
memories.
me again, see the team, that's the
Mhm.
whole point. That's the whole
Yeah.
point right there.
And that's those memories that, no matter what happens, we can't control the results on the field. And that's what you got to do as a Browns fan. You got to make memories. No matter what happens out on the field, you make those memories, you make those connections.
Oh
And
yeah.
my And thank you so much for your time today. The final question I have is February. So the timeline is this is the last week. The coaches are going to be reporting to Arlington, and for those of you who don't know, everything takes place in Arlington to cut costs. The players and the coaches, they live at Arlington and they fly out to the games, and camp starts February 27th. The coaches arrive March 1st, and the coaches and the players arrive, and they get to settle in. And then March 1st, they began practice. So, and then eventually there's cut day, and then we start, everything starts March 28th. So, what player are you, first of all, what player are you looking at to take the next step this season? They showed promise, but you want them to take that next step. Then what player you think is kind of on the bubble? They need to pull up and maybe make a next decision, or else maybe you expect them to be cut. What are you looking
It's tough because it's no offense meant by it and everything, because I think he's incredible actually.
Mm-hmm.
He did incredible at his prior team before coming to the Showboats, but that's going to be Williams at quarterback. And the only reason why I say that is because he's a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Say his complete name for those of you.
Troy Williams.
Corey Williams, quarterback.
Yeah, and the thing about being a quarterback is the burden's always on your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the team, like last year, we didn't have an O-line. We had a no-line. But they still complained that Cookus was horrible. They
Mm-hmm.
complained that Troy couldn't get anything done.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Love was the saving grace, and still he didn't do that much either. None of them. Tom Brady couldn't have done anything behind a no-line.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. So
Mm-hmm.
focus on getting that fixed, and I think he'll shine. But because he's a returning player from a 2-8 team and being the quarterback, I think he's going to be the one that's going to have a lot of eyes on him. And I hate that for him, actually, because I have voiced my opinion strongly. I think he deserves to be here.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's going to be up to him to show that, he's either going to be number one or number two.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets down to number three, it gets scary, because then he could very easily, if somebody comes up somewhere else, boom, you're gone. The number three is always going to be that guy. It's not particularly that it's Troy. It's just that it's number three. The third guy is the one that can get cut real quick, and they think that they can find a better one. That's just like the same way, we did it last year. Love came in at the last minute. Nobody expected that. But with him having to go up against Dormady and Perry, it's a really tough quarterback room right there. Those three, that is really good. And I don't think anybody gives Troy the credit that he deserves. But like I said, quarterback and returning from a very atrocious team, the eyes are going to be on him, and the burden's going to be on his shoulders out of anybody. Another thing that I don't think we addressed, but I also think as far as leadership goes, I really think we're going to see on the defensive end a more major leadership role from John Atkins Sr. I think big man's going to, I've put it out. I've told people he's back. You've been warned. He's back. And so he's going to start tearing some holes in some lines, because I believe, and I'm not going to go into names just yet, he's bringing some friends from his Georgia Bulldog days that it's going to, and these guys they're not far from here either, down in Mississippi and stuff. So
what, for those of that are still growing, what position does he do? What leadership does he do?
As far as Atkins does, he's going to lead that defense. I mean, he's definitely going to step up and motivate the guys. You could see it on his face last season when they seemed winded. He was the only one that I didn't see any wind on. I mean, he was still furious. He's like a caged lion. I mean, What
number is he? Because I was looking at some film last night. What
you're going to love it. Number 99.
Oh, my gosh. No, you did not say 99.
That's him.
I am going to break down. Boatsman, we are on the same page. You've got to be kidding me. Boatsman, on Tuesday, I am going to give you an assessment of 99. 90, you've got to be kidding me. Guys, we did not plan this. On Tuesday, I am going to give you an assessment of 99, and also my breakout player is Darius Victor. The one to watch is Darius Victor.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Victor gets signed. Right now, I don't think he's
No,
on the
you did
roster.
not say 99.
Yeah, I don't
Oh
think
my
Darius is
God.
back on the roster yet, but if he does,
Wait a minute, back up. Darius Victor has not resigned yet?
I don't believe he has yet. I don't believe he has yet. Thick Thighs is not on the roster at this point, as far as I know, or I could say it like a wrestler. As far as the boatsman knows, I don't think he's on the roster. A lot of
What?
people, a lot of people are shocked about it. There are several running backs in the UFL from last season that are not on their rosters yet.
Darius, Darius Victor. Oh my
Thick
gosh.
thighs, thick thighs. Yep.
Darius Victor has the stout of Darian Sproles. I want to use him for that last third down.
Yep.
I've looked at foot. I have. Thank you for telling me this because I wasn't going to mention it, but then thank God I mentioned it to you. I have my whole notes ready to talk about Darius Victor, how I would use him for the final third downs. And you mean he hasn't resigned yet?
As far as about a week ago, no, he was not on the roster.
What?
Yep.
Is he trying to get a contract?
I don't know. I really don't know because, like I said, I was kind of shocked that he wasn't. But then all of a sudden, when you start looking around and seeing the running backs, his name escapes me right now, but he was with the Roughnecks. He used to be with the Gamblers, and then he was with the Roughnecks. He had a couple of injury problems, but when he's not injured, he's deadly. And I don't believe he's back on that roster either.
I gotta
Several running
find him on
backs.
X. We gotta
Several
find
running
him.
backs.
He's got the stout of, he reminds me of a Darian Sproles. He
Yep.
fights through, he can run, he's thick, he's perfect. He's perfect.
He's like, I joked, he's like Jerome Bettis in Emmitt Smith's body.
Exactly. Exactly. You mean to tell me he has not resigned yet?
Not
And
that I
camp
know
is
of.
getting ready to start?
And not even with the Showboats. I mean, with a team. So I think,
Oh my
though, I
gosh.
think in about a week, I think that's going to probably change, even if it's not with the Showboats. I think it's going to change. I think there's a few running backs that are going to suddenly probably get some
Thank
spots.
goodness I mentioned this to you. Boatman, you are awesome. We are on the same page. I cannot believe you said 99.
Yeah,
I
John
can't
Atkins.
believe you said
John
99.
Atkins Sr., big man, big John.
Oh my, I have a
He is
whole
beast.
breakdown of 99 I'm going to talk about. And then I made a whole, thank God I mentioned Victor to you because I was going to talk about the virtues of Darius Victor. And now I need to go and try to stalk him on social media.
Yeah. Try to confirm it. Find out.
So if you
what
see me in
what are his
handcuffs, you heard it here, folks. If you see me in handcuffs, you'll know why.
Yeah, you need to find
I
out what are
really
his
am
plans.
going to
What is he
track
going to
him
do?
down on
Because
social media.
yeah, I haven't seen hide nor hair of him, and he's solid. But and a lot of people did complain about him last year, saying, "Oh, he didn't do anything for us." Once again, no line. These
He
guys
needs to run it
can't
back.
produce when the
He's got to
line is
run it
not
back.
protecting.
He's got to run it back.
Yeah, he's solid, and I mean, it's just there was
Tonight
no
I was
line.
going to look up his stats.
Hey, speaking of which, you were asking about who's going to be on the bubble.
Yes.
I tell you another one, and it's not a player, but the heat is going to be on Turner, our offensive coordinator.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the offensive line coach. With a no line last year, the fact that he's back, I had to tip a little bit of respect to him. He had to have had a sit down with the front office, with Wizenhunt and everything, and tell him, I can do this. Because if you were to base it off of last year's production and how it went,
2-8.
he'd be the first one you give a pink slip to. And Coach, I don't mean any ill will about that. I'm just making a statement that it's hard on a coach when your part of the team is failing and gets jokes made about him, like the no line. So he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders this coming season. Eyes will be on him. Eyes will be on that offensive line from the first snap. Eyes will be on that offensive line when they're out there just practicing before the game. I mean, eyes are already on them as it is, just looking at their background, their resumes.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that were signed that returned, a lot of people you see on social media. Why? What's with this guy? Why is he back? That shows you how much animosity a lot of fans had for the no line last year. So we
Mm-hmm.
want an O line this year. If we have an O line and then have the players we have, the coaching staff we have, the playing field's going to be leveled
Okay.
a lot more even.
Okay.
And I said it last year that the team looked good on paper before the season started. The team is looking good on paper now, but they don't play on paper. They play on turf. They play on grass.
Exactly. Okay.
So we're gonna see how it plays out.
Okay. Well,
We're very optimistic, though. The yacht club is thrilled this year. We thought we were happy last year. No, we were just ready for some football. This year, we are very optimistic. We're very
okay.
pumped. So
Okay.
we're good to go.
Alrighty. Well, we're at 30 minutes. I've taken enough of your time. I just want to thank you. I first want to ask safe traveling mercies for all of the fans traveling to away games. Hint, hint, hint. And and I just want to encourage everyone to support the Memphis Showboats, and definitely give the boatsmen a follow. Give the Memphis Showboats Yacht Club a follow, and go on X and give Memphis Showboats it's Showtime a follow. Download the UFL app. Give bougiesports.net. Give myself Posh_Clevelander a follow for all things UFL, and definitely let the Lord be with your family. And I really appreciate your time today and your dedication to your fan base. And let's have a great UFL season. And definitely, I like all of your fans throughout the season to post their pictures, videos, cute kids, with their family's permission, of course. All the things that happen this season, good or whatever happens, we're all you're part of the UFL family. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your time today.
And I will tell, not just for the Showboats, but for the UFL.
For the UFL,
Get
no matter
your
what
tickets. Come out
Thank
to the
you. You
game.
heard it here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Go UFL. Bye bye. Thank you for your time.